Hello everyone, this is a very special episode of G.GOES Live in which I host my very good friend Wassim, who is the lead singer and guitarist of Who Killed Bruce Lee and a co-founder of partner and chief marketing officer of Clap Clap that runs and the Grand Factory. And in this episode, we have something very important to discuss, which is the BBX, Beirut Berlin Express, which I'm very honored also as Per-vurt to also sponsor it. How are you, Wassim?
Great. How are you?
I'm very honored to have you in the studio,
It's
and
good to
also
be here.
I'm very happy that I'm sponsoring this very good initiation by See You Next Sat, also in collaboration with
Yes.
the Goethe-Institut in
Yeah.
Lebanon,
Yeah.
and in association with Jägermeister as well. So what is BBX exactly?
The Beirut Berlin Express is a platform that pushes electronic music in the country, specifically people that are producing and that are in the creative process of electronic music and don't really have a platform that gives them a stage to perform and people to listen to what they're doing. And at the heart of the platform is the clubs, is Reunion, the Grand Factory, and that group. And at the heart of the platform is also the relationship between both cities, Berlin and Beirut, because Beirut can benefit a lot from the expertise that Berlin has in this specific field when it comes to electronic music production and a lot of other things. And there's a big opportunity that we saw between Riverside Studios, that's also co-owned by Jade, that is at the heart of the clubs and the owner of the clubs in Beirut. And me and my band also recently moved to Berlin 3 years ago, so we are deeply rooted in the city. We know our way around and we know who to get to help. The Goethe-Institut also is a very big part of it in bridging that relationship between the cities, and they are one of the biggest sponsors for BBX. Jägermeister is also a big player because they also operate a lot in the region here and they operate a lot in Germany, so they're also helping to bridge that gap. Berlin is a place where as an electronic music producer or an electronic music artist or performer, you can hope to launch a great career from there. Beirut is also a great city to do that, but sometimes you need a bit more exposure and expertise that you might not find here so easily.
And this is the second time you launched this concept, this event.
Last year it was the pilot, if you might say, and we didn't expect so much submissions to come in. I think we had around 100 submissions from 100 great and talented producers. It was really overwhelming. Smash TV from Berlin was helping us last year, and they were at the end, the winner would travel to Berlin, and he spent around a month time a music residency in Riverside Studios, where Smash TV helped him in writing, mixing and mastering his EP. Last year's winner was the super talented Jad Talib. So yeah, last year was a great year, and this year we have so many new players on board, so many people believing in the platform, and a lot of great hype around it in general, so we're very happy.
I realized a lot of changes in the scene when it comes to electronic music. Like, this is an evolution in electronic music. I noticed that by the students who come here to take courses, they are more oriented towards live performance. Some of them, they are also musicians. They play live and they want to integrate this into more technology and stuff like that. And from the store as well, we're selling a lot of synthesizers, controllers, and a lot of these things. So the orientation now is there. This is what make you create this event, to also highlight those talents.
There's no question today that when you talk about music in general or about writing music in general, technology has a very big and deep factor. If you're a band, if you're a DJ, whatever you are, technology has a big factor in how you perform and how you write and your creative process in the studio. And technology today can help you a lot and give you a huge aid in finding your ideas, crafting your ideas, and all of that. And that from an industry perspective has grown a lot, and obviously it has reached Beirut, because Beirut is a cultural hotspot, and it is in the region that we are living in one of the main contributors to an industry such as the electronic music industry or the music industry in general. And from a scene's perspective, I think everyone has seen in the past 5 to 10 years the rise of so many clubs, so many curators, so many promoters, and in general, the people that are interested in clubbing and listening to electronic music in general has really grown in the past 10 years, and which is really beautiful to watch. The clubs are putting so much effort, the promoters are putting in so much effort, and if you look at any producer now worldwide, producers that we love, some of my favorite electronic music producers, whenever they're on tour, Beirut is always on their map, on their agenda, and they always end up here. And no matter what club they're playing in, everyone flocks to watch them. And they are today, these DJs, these producers are heroes of ours in a way. We aspire to be like them in so many different ways. And the young generation that are also searching for something to indulge themselves in, are finding themselves that this industry is an industry that they can really flourish in. And all that's needed is a bit of a push or a bit of support. That BBX is not the answer, is not the solution, but it helps to take us from point A to point B in this search.
And it opens also a lot of opportunities to launch the career of these talents nowadays. And it's really an amazing project, and I'm also, again, very honored to be sponsoring it. Wassim, you come from a live music background. And how do you see that the scene in live music has changed over the years?
I personally, I'm very happy to see the change and the interest that people have. I'm very happy that the scene has always been there. Maybe in the past 10 years it levitated a bit from the underground and the alternative into the foreground, and today it's a bit more in the mainstream, and it's a bit more in people's talk. So many bands are proving to do great things locally, regionally, and internationally. So many also DJs today we see, like living in Berlin, I see so many guys come in from here and play at the biggest clubs in Berlin. You know, and we're so proud of them, and it's always like a moment when they are there. The scene is growing, live music is growing, and there's still a lot to do, so many questions to be asked. What are schools doing in that front? What are universities doing in that front? What's the industry and what is the government doing to also promote that creative industry that a lot of other countries really take care of? There's a lot of absence in that promotion aspect and in that in pushing that industry. So that's why things like BBX and personal initiatives rise up to the occasion. And that's why people like the Goethe-Institut, people like Jägermeister, people like yourself, and a lot of other partners that we have this year, we'll talk about them in due time. They believe in the scene here, even international partners that are great, such as Teenage Engineering. And when we told them about what was happening here, they really believed in the scene. Riverside Studios and what they give, Tobi Neumann, the great Tobi Neumann, and the fact that he's gonna be in that studio for a month with the winner of BBX is really like something. It's a big dream, but it's also a reality. So people can tap into it. They can compete, and they can win, and they can make their dream come true.
Yeah. So to all our students as well here at Per-vurt School, this is your chance to be noticed locally, internationally, and have 1 month residency in Berlin. And you can produce, mix, and master your first EP with Tobi Neumann. And Wassim, what do you think our students can mainly benefit from presenting a demo of their performance? What can you tell them? What advices do you give them?
The beautiful thing about a platform like BBX is that usually if you're producing, I produce a lot, and I see myself all the time when I'm producing in my dungeon, in my little cellar, doing my thing. And it's rarely that you get a chance to really expose that, and it's rarely to get a chance to be in a room with 100 other people that are doing the same thing that you can learn from. You know, you can teach someone something and you can learn a lot from someone. Even at a local level, and where we are in Beirut, there are so many people doing so many things. Just the fact of putting them all in one platform and putting them all in one room at times, and them interacting with each other, talking to each other, is something that they can benefit from a lot. And I personally am looking forward to benefit from that a lot. Personally looking forward to meet everyone and the team that's behind BBX, because I'm one of the team members that are behind BBX. They're also very excited to meet everyone. Last year it was a blast. We met so many people that today are playing at the club. We met them. They are great people. They are doing great things. And you see, you know, competition is a very healthy way to improve what you are doing and to push it further. When you see someone doing something and you feel he's doing it in a better way, or on a better level, it pushes you to push yourself. So the fact of everyone being together in a platform like this is really something that everyone can benefit from. Plus, not to mention the workshops that are going to happen. And when you submit your tracks, even if you don't qualify for the live phases, even if you don't qualify to be a winner, you will at least qualify to attend all of these workshops. And there are going to be 3 main workshops this year that are one of the workshops is by Teenage Engineering. They are a personal favorite of mine.
Making synthesizers.
They are a huge company, you know, OP1, that is synthesizers that you see probably in every single studio worldwide. They are responsible for manufacturing the OP1 and the entire thinking behind pocket-sized synthesizers, where you can write an entire track when you're on a train or in a bus. They are coming here to conduct a workshop on synthesis and how they see it. We have also another partner that is 21dB. They are responsible for most of the brilliant sound that we see around the country in clubs that we love. They are also conducting a workshop on sound and how sound behaves from your studio to the club, and how to put yourself in a right mentality when you're preparing your live set, on facing any PA system or facing any system in the world, where you can modularize your live set to fit a certain system. And hopefully a third workshop conducted by you.
Yes, of course.
On production and on you know, how to start, basically, what to buy, how to work, how to pick what DAW you want to use, because there are so many out there, and maybe according to your personality and what you want to do, a DAW can be better for you than another.
Of course.
Or a synth, you know, so much things
to
left
talk about
out there.
Yeah.
And you probably fell into the same thing I fell into. No, I spent so much money on the wrong things, so much money, and then you see yourself packing them in boxes because you never ever used them.
Yes, of course.
Because you need that knowledge, and you need someone to tell you, like, okay, you can buy this, but you can buy it for much cheaper and get 10 times the result that you feel you want to get.
Of course.
So
that's what I mainly do in this show, G-Goes Live, and 25 episodes.
We love it.
This is a very special episode. That's not episode 26, nor 1 in season 2, but this is what we both do. Actually, we have the same mentality towards increasing the awareness about music production, DJing, performance music in general,
yep,
and how you can benefit, how you can grow your talent. And this is a contribution from us also to the team to build this community, because Lebanon is very known,
yes,
to produce such talents and have them noticed worldwide. So Wassim, back to BBX, what are you exactly looking for in people who are submitting? And the deadline is January 2nd?
January 2nd is the deadline. Last year we also extended the deadline a bit, because there were so many people that asked us that we need maybe a bit more time to finish our productions, and they didn't want to send their productions maybe half-assed, as they say. They wanted to send it when they are very happy with it. So we also, because at the end of the day, this is not set in stone. This platform is there to help and when we felt that we needed a few more days, we just extended it for a few more days. But there isn't a single person that will judge this. There isn't a single entity that will judge this. It's a group of people that have been doing things around the scene. One of them also is Tobi Neumann, that will be looking for creativity in writing, will be looking for sound design, because sound design is very important in today's world, and separating what you're doing from a lot of other people, looking towards how you dissect your tracks and how you perform them live. The performance factor today, we know that, is a very important factor, even at a club, even as a DJ today. A performance factor is very, very important, even if you're that guy that's also only a selector. And as a DJ, performance is very important. So let alone when you are actually playing live, performance is super important. And so many criterias that we will be looking at, and they are all found online. They are all found on BBX. Mostly the person that will be mostly have the biggest percentage in choosing who he thinks is the best suit or qualified to winning the platform would be Tobi Neumann, because his history in electronic music is a one that we all revere. He's behind some of the best people, you know. He's produced some of my heroes like Miss Kitten, and the people that have been in his studio in Apollo. His studio is called Apollo in Riverside. I had the pleasure to be there. He worked on 2 tracks for us, for the band, 1 track actually.
For Hukel
Busli on our album that we also recorded in Riverside. And working with this guy is a pleasure. And anyone that can get in contact with Tobi would be really, really fortunate, because his equipment, the way he thinks, and his productions, and how he's revered in the biggest city of electronic music in the world, which is Berlin, is really beautiful to watch. So imagine now that you're a young Lebanese producer that can go and spend 1 month in that studio exchanging ideas with a man like Tobi. It's really, I'm sure it would be groundbreaking.
So for BBX, you're only looking for people who can perform / produce, or vice versa.
Yes.
You're not looking for DJs
No.
and only musicians or whatever. So you need to have people who are into live performance.
I mean, maybe one day there will be another platform for DJs. So the DJs are as important as producers. There is no, it's like comparing apples to oranges. It has nothing to do with, one has nothing to do with the other. So, but in this platform specifically, you have to be an original artist. It has to be music that you have written, and you have to be able to perform it. Even on the smallest controller in the world, it doesn't really matter. You don't have to have so many things with you. Even if you're using a laptop, or if you're not using a laptop, it also doesn't matter. It has to be music that could work in a club. It has to be electronic music that is dance music in general. Actually, it doesn't really have to adhere to what we think is dance music in a club. You know, it doesn't have to adhere to 120 BPM. It doesn't have to adhere to that, but it has to consider the people that are there watching. It has to consider where you are performing and the stage you are performing on. So yes, it is about original artists that can perform their music live.
So what's the steps that people can take now? They have to submit a video or of them performing?
Submit 2 tracks.
2 tracks,
because it's very difficult to know a lot about a person from 1 track only. From 2 tracks, you can see maybe if they have consistency, if they have you can realize so many different things from more than 1 track from a person. And then after that, 6 people will qualify to the live music phase. 3 will perform each time on a separate night. So there will be 2 nights in Reunion in the club. And Reunion has a beautiful sound system, also done by 21dB, an analog sound system that, for live music in general, for music that is not perfectly mixed or mastered, you can still find yourself hearing very organic music, and the sound is is beautiful. So it is the best place so far to host BBX, and it's a smaller venue, so there isn't a lot of pressure for filling the place. So these artists won't have a lot of pressure doing that. 3 people will perform on a night. Three other people will perform on a second night in January. Those are 2 nights in reunion, and a third night where the last 2 finalists from the 6 people that have already performed will be performing alongside with Tobi Neumann and hopefully Jad Talib, the winner of last year's BBX. So 3 nights in general at reunion.
Great. And in the 3 nights, and the first 2 nights, I mean, Tobi is not going to be there?
Tobi will not be there, but we will be recording the performances and sending them to Tobi so he can rewatch them all and he can see, he can understand the energy. And on the third night, because it's the most important night and he has to be there to interact with the people, and we would love it that he's also going to give a performance that would be great. Even as a DJ set, doesn't matter, just having them with us at the club is quite great for us. So he will be watching that final night with the 2 finalists. And hopefully we'll have a great winner this year as well.
Great. So this year, who are the key players in this event?
We have Goethe-Institut obviously at the heart of it all, bridging the gap and helping with securing the residency for the person to fly over to Berlin. They are also a big sponsors of the platform. Jägermeister is also another big player. They help by making these nights possible. And they also help. Last year they were able to get Jad Talib a few shows around Europe, which was amazing. So he was able to construct a tour around those shows, and this year we also hope that that will happen after the month residency. You can turn around, play your music for people there, and it's different to play to an audience that is not the Lebanese audience.
Yes, of course.
Because every country has its own feeling. Another player is Sionaxat, obviously, because Sionaxat will be the platform that is promoting and launching everything. We have this year Teenage Engineering that are with us and going to be giving the workshop. We have 21dB that are going to be giving a workshop, and they're also with us. We have you, yourself, and your company, which it would be great. That are also going to be hopefully giving a workshop and giving a nice gift to the winner at the end of the season.
Of course.
So it can help them with their live setup.
And Revolver?
Obviously, they are covering the entire event, writing about it. We like how they see things and how they write about things. So they are also a partner in BBX this year. So many players are involved, and we're very happy.
It's a huge production as well.
We hope so.
As an event.
We hope so.
Great. So guys, make sure you follow the link that we will post in this video to apply for the competition, and submit your mixes, submit your tracks to BBX, of course, and the deadline is January the 2nd, 2018. This is Wassim and G.GOES Live special edition announcing BBX. Thank you for watching, and thank you, Wassim, for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.